Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you a build guide for the College of Friendship Bard in Baldur's Gate 3. This is a modded class made by ArcaneImpact, and the College of Friendship Bard is somewhat of a combination between like the Beastmaster Ranger and a Necromancer. It gives you a bunch of summons, and this is fun. I love summon builds, so let's get right into things here. Now, for cantrips, I like to go with Mistress Spells for the Booming Blade. This just makes this very strong, but you can just go with Vicious Mockery as well, or Friends, Mage Hand, or even Minor Illusion. I'm going to roll with these. I think the best two for base game would be Vicious Mockery and probably Mage Hand. It gives you another summon, fits thematically. And for our spells, Healing Word for the bonus action heal to pick up down allies. Could be counterspell, just heads up. Dissonant Whispers for psychic damage and give disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls. Thunder Wave, pushback is huge, and Long Strider for increased movement speed is very useful. And for our ability scores, I think they go in 16 dexterity, 14 constitution, 10 intelligence, 10 wisdom, and 16 charisma is the best choice here. And for skill proficiencies, make sure that you have persuasion, performance, and deception. Those are going to be your top three most useful. And I'll be covering gear as well as a bit of combat to show off how to use this to its full potential. Now, I guess we'll be going through the full leveling guide here first. So, Jack of all trades, adding half proficiency bonus to ability checks you're not proficient in. And the Song of Rest, giving you an extra short rest. You're also going to choose another spell at this level, and Fairy Fire can be a nice one. You can also get some benefit out of like Tasha's Hideous Laughter, so pick one of the two here that you prefer personally. And then at level 3, we get to choose our subclass. So this is where we're going to be taking the College of Friendship, which gives us the Ranger's Companion, and it's quite strong. We also get ourselves level 2 spells at this level, and I think that Hold Person is the best choice here. So we're going to roll with that. And then at level 6, we get some summoning undead skills. So we get to choose another cantrip here, so Mage Hand. And for our level 2 spells, Cloud of Daggers can be really nice. This doesn't have a check, so people just run through it and take damage. Heat Metal can also be quite nice, and Shatter is also effective, so take those, which one of those you prefer. We're going to take our charisma up here for an 18, and yeah, I think that the best way to go about this is actually to use the Infernal Rapier, because this weapon will also give us a Cambion summon, further enhancing our summoning abilities. We also get our improved Bardic Inspiration and the Font of Inspiration, giving us that back at short rest. And we get level 3 spells, with Fear being a very useful one, Glyph of Warding to drop down damage and can be a nice little trap. And Plant Growth is great for crowd control, but we have a lot of summons, so we don't want to slow them down too much. So I think in this instance, the best choice is Glyph of Warding, and then follow it up with a Fear spell, because Fear is actually very, very useful. Level 6, we get the Counter Charm, and this is where we get our subclass features, the Animate a Dead, Additional Undead. So this gives you 2 per corpse, and they get additional health points equal to our level, and proficiency bonuses added to the damage. And we get the Create Undead or Animate Dead spell there, so really nice. And as I said, we'll take the Fear spell here, and that just worked pretty well. So at level 7, we get ourselves level 4 spells, with Confusion being a really nice spell. This makes us that people will skip their turn or even just attack each other. So yeah, it's not a summon, but it's kind of similar. And then for our next level, Greater Invisibility can be nice. Some people don't like that spell. It doesn't have the best effects in the world. So we can go down to like something like Discordant Melody here, which is nice for extra damage. Or Rolathum's Psychic Lance. And we're going to boost our charisma all the way up to 20 here, just for better face rolls, as well as damage and spellcasting. At level 9, we get to choose level 5 spells, with Hold Monster and Dominate Person being really good, Hold Monster being the better, and the one that you definitely want in Act 3. At level 10, we get our Bardic Inspiration up to 1d10. We get to choose 2 skill proficiencies, and we're going to take Intimidation and Persuasion for that. And we'll also get the Minor Illusion spell, and take Dominate Person or Planar Binding. For magical secrets, if we want to go full in on the summons, we'd go Conjure Elemental and then take the Minor Elemental or something like the Draconic Spirit. There's a lot of summon spells if you have Mistress spells. Steel Wind Strike being the strongest spell on this list, so this can be a really good choice as well. But since we're going with the theme around Conjure Elementals, Water Elemental can set up water for double cold damage. This is just a really good combination. You can also take Banishing Smite's nice for the 5d10 force damage on your weapon attack. We don't get 2 attacks though, so it's better to not go that route. Macabre Explosion can be nice because we have a lot of zombies, and Infernal Calling can be pretty useful too. So those are some other options if you don't want to go with this route here. But for base game, Cone of Cold and Conjure Elemental is the best. Then we get ourselves level 6 spells with something like Eye Bite or Otto's Irresistible Dance being the best choices to go with there. We're going to go with Otto's Dance. And then for our final level, there's a couple ways we can go about this. We can actually just we could take the first level as Fighter to get Constitution Saving Throw proficiency. We can go this way to get the feat, or we can go with the War Cleric, as that'll give us an extra bonus action attack. That can be pretty nice, since we can cast a spell and then bonus action attack, and that gives us pretty good damage output. So that's a really nice way to go about it if you don't want to go full 12 levels into the Bard there. And I guess I'll just stay with the Bard for the theming of this build, and for that we'll take Eye Bite and go with the ability score improvement on Dexterity or the Alert feat for +5 to Initiative. So those are two good ways to go about this. Now, as for gear, I would recommend at first taking the Staff of Spell Power if you got someone with that, and taking the Staff of Spell Power gives us the Arcane Battery, which we can use to summon in a Conjure Elemental Water Myrmidon without taking up any of our spells. So that's really useful. And then if we want to take this a further step, we can also go with the Marka Heshker Staff and use that to free cast as well. So cutting down on the spell slots that we'll waste going into combat, so we can use this again and take in, I guess we have we don't really have any other summons, but you could use that on like an Animate Dead or something else if you want to start combat that way. But I like to have the Infernal Rapier as well, because this also gives us a summon, so we can go ahead with our Cambion summon here. So that's just another nice helper. And then we get the Ranger's Companion. The Raven, Dire Raven, or the Bear Companion are the two best choices. I always go with the Bear, so I'm going to go with the Raven this time, because the Raven also can call for backup. So I guess this only gives us the level 1 version, so that's actually not that good. It doesn't have the scaling because it's, yeah, so you don't get actually the more powerful version, unfortunately. I forgot about that, but yeah, you can also go with the Bear if you wanted to instead, because the Bear is also nice because it typically would summon in another one, but it doesn't have that ability just yet. It just has the normal attack, so this summon's not too strong. No, nor are the zombies, but these two summons are pretty strong. So yeah, that's quite nice. And then if you also have us, that's another summon that you can bring in, and that just gives us another choice here. So yeah, as far as gear goes, I would like to go with, you can go with a few different armors. Early game, go with whatever robes you got best. The robe of the week can give you better spell casting. Going with like the potent robe can also give you additional damage on your vicious mockeries. Late game, the Helldust armor will keep you alive the best, so that gives you 27 armor class. But we can also go with the Ballast armor because we have late armor proficiency, and with this we can deal double damage with our piercing attacks. And if you have like the Raven, it'll deal piercing damage, so that's extra damage there. I also want the Birthright for the increase to our charisma, cloak protection, and the evasive shoes, ring of protection, all for those +1 armor class, which are always really useful on your main character. Killer Sweetheart for that free critical hit. However, to fit with the theming of this, we can also go with the Cryptlord Ring for the Create Undead spell, because that's another summon that we could go with. I want the Amulet of Greater Health, but you can also just easily go with like the Corvid token for the being able to turn into a Dire Raven. Not really a summon, but it just fits thematically here with all the animals and stuff that we got going along with us. So that one can be pretty effective as well. And I also went with Viconia's Walking Fortress and the Infernal Rapier for the increase to spell save DC, and it uses our charisma for attack rolls, so that's just furthering our damage output. Now, what this ends up looking like in combat, I will show you here. So, getting into combat, we want to have water set up. That's why we have our Water Myrmidon here, so that the Cone of Cold can hit really hard. We can also just go ahead with this. I'm just going to drop a Cloud of Daggers here on a choke point, because, I mean, it's not the most powerful spell, but you can always upcast and use a free cast if you got it available, and then go with the upcast at 12d4 of damage. So it's a little bit better, especially since there's no check and it just does flat out 30 damage. For some reason that doesn't actually trigger combat, so that's weird. They're about to heal themselves, but we're just gonna put the kibosh on that, and we'll just hit with a Psychic Lance here, and then we got ourselves into a fight. So close to taking out. He has 2 health left. Surprised that Call the Weak didn't trigger, but I don't think it triggers whenever you initiate combat that way. And since we ran out of our actions, we also have, I guess we could roll with a Mind Blast too. So that's another nice damage option that we got. We got the Lithid ability. That took out pretty much everyone and added a bunch more to the fight. So you can see at the top, more people joined in on the fun. So that just further complicates things, but we'll just roll back here, hopefully in an attempt to pull them through that there. So kiting is huge with this. I'm not going to use my companions. I'll just run them back in here just to keep them out of the fight. But yeah, that brought in more summons, which is not great. So yeah, let's cut this. 2 turns in or 2 attacks in and our bear is already down, so that's not ideal. But that's what I'm talking about. The nice no save on that just makes it so much easier to deal damage. So Cloud of Dagger is actually pretty effective just because it can just make easy damage for your team because it has no save on it. So we have our Cambion here, so he can be used to pick off any weaker enemies. He doesn't have the highest hit chance, but that was 20 damage there, which is just enough to maybe turn the tides of battle. Now, the water myrmidon is kind of important. What we want to do with it is get it into a position where it can create water on the most targets possible. So this will hit 3 targets. I guess it breaks line of sight with this one. But we'll use this so it heals them. They already had full health. That's fine. But what it also does is sets up water so that you can hit with your cone of cold and then blast people that way. So we'll just get us to do a little psychic damage. It saved on it. Of course it did. And we'll hope that these bring themselves into the circle. So it appears that all chaos has broke loose. So I guess we'll go with a cone of cold because this will help hit these targets here and create ice surfaces and calm that all down. That didn't take them out, unfortunately, but I guess we just have these targets over here to deal with. So we can go with another cone of cold. That's another option that we got. Typically when you can hit multiple targets in one go, that's not a bad choice to go with. And that took them out. For some reason it keeps summoning in more guards. I don't know why it keeps doing this in certain playthroughs, but yeah, this is strange. Just makes the fight that much more difficult. But yeah, got the psionic dominance off and took out another target with that, so that was perfect. I wish we had the pushback to knock them out of the blades there, because that's one nice thing about warlocks. You can push people out of the blades and then they'll continue to take more damage, so that can be nice. I should have probably teleported him out of there. He's immune to prone, but we'll jump him up ahead here. The teleportation on your myrmidons is really useful. They also have that attack there and this one, which we can hit 4 people with, so that's ideal. Boom, boom, nice. They saved on it, but hey, that's extra damage. So they keep running through the cloud of daggers there, which is exactly what we want them to do. And I shouldn't have used that. 58 damage is overkill for someone with 9 health left. But the Psychic Lance is a very effective skill because if you have the Resonant Stone that just hits really hard, you can see it taking out 2 enemies there. And then what's fun is you can also just black hole people into your cloud of daggers there, which will further enhance your damage and kind of nudge them in the right direction on where to go. So that's another fun way you can go about that. And our Cambion is actually putting in work. So our Myrmidon can follow up with the High Mile Strike there. We'll have to go into there. That's fine. Critical block. Never mind. It's not fine. Oh, goodness. And another person falls to the Cloud of Daggers. So that's perfect. Now, what you can also do is you can do a pushback into the Cloud of Daggers. You can also use the black hole to re-black hole people, and that'll just pull them all in and make them take damage again from it. So that's kind of a nice way to go about doing that. If you can get in position, you can also drop a Cone of Cold here, as we just have a few spell slots left, and that was just enough to do it. So yeah, that is the College of Friendship Bard. Unfortunately, the Ranger's Companion doesn't level up, so it only has 19 health, and it was taken out extremely quickly. But using the Infernal Rapier here can actually work well because that Cambion helps carry weight, as each of its attacks this round did 20 damage each turn, so that was pretty effective. But Cloud of Daggers, actually a very effective spell here because you can kite them around with all your summons. But yeah, it's a pretty fun mod, now available on console. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit the subscribe button below if you haven't already, and I'll see you all in the next video.